Hello again. Today, number 141. My name is Mary, and today's story is Elisha's work. In many places throughout Israel, families still listened to the teaching of the prophets and worshiped the Lord. Elisha went through the land meeting these people, teaching them and leading them in their worship. The wife of one of these men came to Elisha and said, "O man of God, my husband is dead, and you know he served the Lord while he lived. He owed some money when he died, and now the man he owed has come, and he says he will take my 2 sons to be his slaves unless I pay the debt." In those lands, when a man owed a debt, he could be sold to pay the debt. Elisha said to the woman, "What can I do to help you? What do you have in the house?" "I have nothing in the house," answered the woman, "except a pot of oil." Elisha said to her, "Go to your neighbors and borrow all the empty jars you can. Then go into the room and shut the door on yourself and your sons. Pour the oil into the vessels, and as each vessel is filled, set it aside." The woman did as he said until all the containers she could find were full. If she had borrowed more vessels, there would have been more oil. She came and told Elisha, and he said, "Go and sell the oil, pay the debt, and keep the rest of the money for yourself and your sons to live on." Another time, Elisha came to Gilgal when food was scarce, and they looked in the field for vegetables and green things to eat. One man brought a number of wild gourds that were poisonous and threw them into the pot with the rest of the food. While they were eating, they felt suddenly that they had been poisoned. And they cried out, "O man of God, there is death in the pot. The food is poisoned." Elisha took some meal and threw it into the pot with the poisoned food. And he said, "Now take the food out of the pot and let the people eat of it." They did so, and there was no longer any poison in the food. Another time, a man came bringing a present of bread and corn in the husks. There were 100 men with Elisha that day, and Elisha said to his servant, "Give this to the people for their dinner." The servant said, "This won't feed 100 men." Elisha said, "Set it before them and let them eat. The Lord says, they shall eat and shall have enough and shall leave some of it." So he gave them the food. Every man took as much as he wanted, and some was left over, as God had said. Once a company of these sons of the prophets went down from the mountains to a place near the river Jordan and began to build a house. Elisha was with them. As one of the men was cutting down a tree, the head fell off his axe and dropped into the water. In those times, iron and steel were very scarce and costly. The man said, "Master, what shall I do? This was a borrowed axe." Elisha asked to be shown just where the axe head had fallen into the water. He cut off a stick of wood and threw it into the water at the place. At once, the iron axe head rose to the surface of the water and floated, as if it were wood. The prophet said, "Reach out and take it." And the man took the iron, fitted it to the handle, and went on with his work. By these works of power, all the people came to know that Elisha was a true prophet of the Lord and spoke God's words to Israel. And that was the end of our story, and it was the word of the Lord. Now we come to our discussion questions. Number 1. What did Elisha do for the widow? What did Elisha do for the widow? Number 2. How did Elisha take care of the poisoned food? How did Elisha take care of the poisoned food? Number 3. What happened when Elisha gave the men bread and corn to eat? What happened when Elisha gave the men bread and corn to eat? Number 4. How did Elisha save the man's axe? How did Elisha save the man's axe? Number 5. What did all these miracles show people? What did all these miracles show people? And that was the last of the questions. How time flies quickly when we are having fun and listening to a very interesting stories of the Old Testament. It's just great. I'm having fun reading. I hope you're having fun listening. Okay, so thank you again for being with me in another interesting story and another day. So may God bless us all until we meet once again. Bye bye for now.